Most sadness is caused by a feeling of scarcity when it comes to something that you really want. But why should scarcity, why should the lack of something necessarily cause despair? Why should it make you feel bad instead of making you feel good? Because let's take, for example, chronic pain. Most likely, you do not have chronic pain. Most of the people watching this video probably do not have pain that just won't leave them alone. But they don't ever realize that. They only think about the mental clarity that they're lacking. They only feel about what the other person has that they don't have, the money they don't have, the family that they don't have. They don't think about the chronic pain that they don't have, because that's just the brain's nature. It feels bad about like everything. It only focuses on the bad things that it has and on the good things that it doesn't have. The secret to happiness or to a better mood, whatever you're looking for, whatever happiness is defined to you as, is being grateful for the good you have and for the bad that you don't have. The difficult part about this, the reason why happiness, and I say happiness and how do you call them? I forget the. I put happiness in quotes because it's quite a flimsy subject. There's no clear definition for happiness anymore. But whatever happiness is for you is probably counterintuitive to your brain. Your brain is probably very dead set on trying to make you miserable. That is just a truth. That is just an aspect human of our human evolution. Our brains aren't made to make us feel happy, they're made to help us survive. A part of actually helping us survive is being very wary of all of the bad things that are happening to us and very wary about the good things that aren't, because that's what keeps you in kind of like in a wheel, running in a wheel of eternal pursuit of something that you feel isn't that you're not embracing, but still running in a way that you don't actually realize how many things you're winning while running. That's the kind of mentality that you're born with. That's the mentality most people can't escape. But the moment you change your mentality, some very subtle changes, and actually flip the two components, be grateful for what you have and grateful for what you don't have, then that's kind of the opposite of your base mentality, which is sadness. The opposite of sadness maybe is happiness. Maybe it's being content. Maybe it's motivation, excitement, whatever you want it to be, whatever you consider the base mentality being. Once you flip the switches, once you have some very, very hard and subtle changes in mentality, it is hard to change mentality. That's why being happy is hard. Because your nature, your basic human nature, is fighting against it. But you still need to like flip these things around, preferably at a young age, because if you don't, they 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 get even more rigid than they were previously. I'm not saying that if you're 50 you can't like change these. I'm not saying if you're 100 you can't change these switches, but you should try to do it as early as possible. Another thing that I don't understand about like gratitude and happiness is that people get sad when something happens. They do not think for a moment of all of that time before this happened, I didn't have to endure this. For example, if you're the child of two people who have glasses and you do not get glasses, you can stay without glasses for like 20 years before actually having to put them on, then you shouldn't be sad because you put on the glasses. You should be happy because you stayed 20 years without glasses. If glasses are that much of a perturbing factor for you, which they probably aren't. But this can apply to basically everything. Of course, it is very, very hard to apply it to very extreme cases. It is hard to see cancer as a privilege. It is hard to be happy while having cancer. But what is what is the alternative? Are you going to cry yourself until you die? Because that's the only thing that you can do besides being grateful for something greater than you. Yes, you can criticize this mentality for being stupid, for not working on the very radical left part of this goddamn canyon of this metric of suffering. But if you're suffering, why wouldn't you try to, even by delusion, try to be happier? Even by like tricking your brain, try to be happier. Because most of the time, reality is flimsy. Your interpretation of reality is not what you want. And it's not reality in the first place. So why can't you shift your interpretation to see a different reality, keeping in mind that actual reality, you will never see what's real. You will always see interpretations, and make that reality that you are seeing good. Because you can choose different realities by how you interpret things. You can either choose to feel bad about what you don't have, or good about what you don't have. Good about what you have, or bad about what you have. It's your choice. It's the way you perceive your reality. Yes, it might be delusion. Many, many smart people say it might be delusion. Jordan Peterson says that actually doing visualization and things like that, even though I don't think visualization has that life changing of effects, but at least changing your mentality will help. Yes, you can consider it delusion. Yes, you can consider it insane. Getting cancer and seeing it as an opportunity, getting chronic pain, seeing it as an opportunity, or just being happy that you don't have those opportunities, isn't that hypocritical? Are those two subjects completely against each other? Yes, they are, and that's the point. Because if you it's all separated by what you think. You need to alter your thinking in order to benefit your cause. Because if you stay in a rigid mindset, your situation is not going to stay the same. It is very obviously going to change. Your thinking needs to change on par with your situation. Be grateful for what you don't have, and even if it comes, still be grateful. Because the alternative is to not be grateful, to be a spiteful, whiny peasant when that thing comes, and just feel sad for the rest of time, basically. For the rest of the time you have on Earth. Whatever you do, just be grateful. Change your mentality in order to suit your situation best. Because there is no alternative. Be grateful for what you don't have, and grateful for what you do. That is literally your only choice. I'll see you later.